My name is Neburako. I am an accountant and QuickBooks consultant, and I'm based in Accra, Ghana. This is a very simple and easy to use accounting software that has been customized for fuel, petrol, and gas filling stations. These are the key features. You're able to do your billing and invoicing to the system in the system. You're able to manage your fuel inventory in the system. You're able to track your account receivable, your debtors, your customers. You're also able to track your payables, your creditors. You're able to also keep databases of both your debtors and your creditors, suppliers, debtors. Then you'll be able to do some income and expense tracking, so that you know whether you are making profit or loss. You can also do project accounting in the system. You can do some fixed assets management, budget and budgetary control, bank reconciliation. You can also pass journal entries to the system. You have a point of sale feature in it, which you can use to run your retail shop or your mart or your supermarket that is attached to a filling station. The system has a multi-currency feature where you can enter transactions in different form or different currencies. The system also supports multiple company files and users, so you can have multiple users accessing the company file concurrently. You can also create multiple company files in the system. The software is also one time. You buy it once and you don't pay anything again. You can also use the system to manage your withholding and VAT account in case you are registered for VAT. Then you can also generate all your accounting, all management, and all financial reports in the system. So basically, this is what this accounting software for fuel gas filling stations can do. These are the specific features. These are other general features that you can also look at. So if you want to buy, you want us to come and implement it for you, just email us or call the number here. But I'll briefly take you through how the system works. So this is the system. Once you open it, you're required to enter your username and password to access it. Then the first thing is to populate your fuel pumps. So I've populated Petrol, and then the Petrol we have 2 fuel pumps. You also have our diesel product. For the diesel product, we also have 2 fuel pumps. Then for our gas product, we also have 2 pumps. So the first thing is that I'm going to take you to how you receive your inventory. So let's say we are buying some inventory from one of our suppliers on credit. Let's say we are buying from Bust. So here you put in the reference number on the invoice that you receive from the vendor or the bill that you receive from the vendor. Then you come and select the product that you are buying from the specific vendor. So let's say for this particular vendor or for this particular invoice, I bought some fuel for pump 001, which is petrol. Let's say I bought 1,000 liters at the price of 9 cedis. So this is the total. Then I also bought petrol for fuel pump 2. Let's say that one, so we bought 200,000. Then you also bought some diesel in liters. You bought 50,000 liters at the price shown there. Then for the diesel pump 4, you bought 120,000 liters. So the sum of these is what is showing here, and this is supposed to be equal to the invoice that the supplier will bring. So once I save, so that's how you record when you buy fuel from from your suppliers. And when you receive your fuels from your suppliers, I want to take you through again. So just click on enter or receive inventory. Who are you receiving the inventory from? The reference number on the invoice or the bill that you received. Select the product that you are buying. Remember, the unit of measure for petrol is liters. So let's say you are buying 100 liters, and for diesel for pump 003 you're buying 50. And once you finish, just click on save and close. So at this point, let me generate a summary of some reports. So at this point, we know that we have some fuel, which is in the form of an inventory asset to us at a value. Then you also owe a certain group of people, that's our supplier, called BOST, that same volume of inventory. So for example, when I go to report and I say I want to see the inventory that I have, or the fuels, the value of inventory that I have so far, when I go to inventory, I go to inventory valuation summary, I should be able to see the fuels that I have. So you see that for petrol, for pump 001, I have this on hand. That's the quantity, and the unit of measure is liters. The cost is this, and this is the value. For the diesel also, the unit of measure is liters. So for pump 004, for example, I have 120 liters at a cost per 12 cedis per liter, giving me this value. Then for gas, which is measured in kg, I don't have any pieces. So you see that the value of all the things that I have, all my fuels that I have so far, is this figure. Now this figure I have no sold, so this figure should represent how much I owe my suppliers. So for example, when I go to report, and I also want to see some the companies that I owe money to, I go to vendors and receivables and say vendor balance summary. I should be able to see that this value is what I owe BOST for the inventory that they have supplied. So this software is very easy to use. So let's say that we now receive, or we now sell some of our fuel to either on credits or with cash, or for cash from some of our customers. So for example, if it is on credits, I'll just create an invoice for the person. So let's say I'm doing a credit sale of fuel to one of our customers, Wiseway Ghana. So here, what product are you selling? So I'm selling some fuel from petrol from point 1. I'm selling, let's say, 1,000 liters. Then also selling some diesel to them from pump 3, 003, 20,000 liters. Remember, because you have programmed the price per liter, once you select it, the price will come automatically. And the amount, immediately you put in the number of liters that you are selling to the customer, you get your values calculated automatically. So this plus this is this, and this is what you are supposed to receive from Wiseway Ghana Limited. So Wiseway Ghana Limited owes us this amount. So I can either print, I can save as PDF and send, or I can even email it straight to the customer. So I'll just click on save and close. So at this point, I've sold some of my liters, so my inventory will reduce, and my customers' values, or those who owe me, will also go up. So for example, when I go to report, I want to see the companies that owes me. Now, customer balance summary. You will notice that Wiseway Ghana owes me like this, and you also notice that inventory balances will also reduce because I have actually made some sale out to some group of customers, or some customers. So you see that the value has actually reduced. This same report, you can have the detail of it. So inventory, instead of summary, I want to see the detail. So the detail will give you per transaction, okay, and for each item, or for each pump. So you see that the details of whatever I've entered is here, when you received it, and when you invoice. So for example, for pump 001 petrol, we receive 10,000 liters of petrol, we receive additional 100, then we sold some on credit that is 1,000 pieces, okay, leaving us with a quantity on hand of 9,100 liters, and this is this value. So this is very, very simple. Now let's say that we now receive payment for the customer that bought some fuel from us on credit. So we just click on receive payment. Then the first thing is that the software asks you, who are you receiving the payment from? So we're receiving the payment from WHT Ghana. So immediately you select WHT Ghana or the customer, all the unpaid invoices on that particular customer will show up here. So for example, there's an invoice number 1 that was issued to WHT Ghana and it's unpaid. So let's say that WHT Ghana is paying 200,000 out of the 272,000 he owes us, and this money is actually going into our bank account, which is Access Bank. So because they did a transfer into our bank account, Access Bank. So I'll just click on it, save and close. Now you notice that we now have some monies in our Access Bank account, and also you also notice that the balances owed for that particular customer will also reduce. So you see that the balance has reduced. He initially owes us, we invoiced him this amount 2720, he paid 20,000. Then this is the balance that he owes us. At this point, I also know my profit and loss. So for example, when I go to report and I want to know my profit and loss at this point, you notice that for sales I've made, for Petrol I've made this amount from Petrol, I've made this amount from Desert, giving me a total sale of this. Then the cost of the sales is this amount. Then the gross profit is this. I've not made any, or I've not paid for any expense, so my expense is 0, giving me a net profit of this amount. So as it's very, very simple. Now let's say that we now want to pay we have gotten some money, we want to pay some of our suppliers. So if you want to pay your supplier, you just click on Payable. And when you click on Payable, you will see all the bills that are supposed to be paid. So for example, I have a bill with this number and it's supposed to be paid to Bust. And this is another bill that I'm supposed to pay, and that one also is from Bust. So let's say I'm paying this account bill and I'm paying all the figures. So I'm paying 1,500, and I'm paying from my Access Bank account because I have some money in it. I'll just click on pay. So I've paid that customer. So you notice that when I go to see the customer or the suppliers that I owe money to, you notice that for Bust, I want to do the detail, the amount will reduce. So you notice that you receive a bill of this amount, another bill of this amount, then you have paid this amount, leaving this figure. So as simple as that. And they said that you also paid for some expenses. If you want to pay for expenses right away, so let's say you wrote some check, or you did some payment from our Access Bank account. So immediately you select the account, the balance on that account will appear here. So let's say we are paying for some equipment rentals from a company called this, from a company called this. The value is 2,000 Ghana cedis. And for the same bill, you're also paying for permit and licenses of 3,000, meaning you are paying 5,000 out of this bank account. You are sending this money to Go Ghana cedi. You are paying Go Ghana cedi for that. So I'll just save and close. So once I go to report and I want to know my profit and loss, you notice that now my expenses have equipment rental and permit and licenses, leaving a net profit of this amount. So the software is very, very simple, very easy to use. You're able to track all of these from the software, and you're also able to get all the report that you need on all about your business. So if you want to purchase this software, you want us to come and implement it for you, kindly call or contact us via these contact lines, or you can also email us. Thank you.